here. It is April 14th. We're halfway in April, and I guess we've all been in lockdown for about a little over a month now. We're heading into week 5. I'm in week 5. For some of you, I think you're heading into week 5. But here that we're at. We are at the point where everybody is now having bad hair days on the regular. We have reached the point of no return. We have reached a point where everybody now is having bad hair days. There's no more, some days good, some days bad. No, we've went over the line. That's where we're at. We are now over the line with bad hair days. Is everyone else making do? How many of you have already decided to just do it, right? To cut it yourself. Or better yet, here's one. How many of you have roommates or a significant other that you said, you know what? I can't deal with it anymore. It's gotten to the point where something has to be done. Let's say you've looked over and you decided, I'm not going to do it myself. And you saw your significant other there, your roommate, and you decided, you said, you know what? I've thought about this. Here you go. Do it up. I'm gonna need you to cut my hair. I can have Animal do it, but there's no way. I haven't gotten to that point yet of cutting my own hair. I'm going to guess that some of you have already gotten to that point. Connie wants to request to come on live. I will do that in just a bit, but I have some things to discuss first, and then we will get there. If you're still there when we get to that point, I will be happy to. All right, so hold on there, Connie Gold. We'll get to you. All right, now, so I don't know, as I mentioned, we are beyond the point of good hair days and bad hair days. We are just now in bad hair days. I've accepted it. I am willing, able to move on. I hope you guys are too. All right. So I wanted to talk today. I had gotten a question. I got a question yesterday from a girl named Sarah who wrote to our Facebook page, and she wanted to know about dealing with her friends. Now, if you guys pay attention to the show, you know that we recommend that you get all toxicity out of your life, from toxicity when it comes to influence, to friends that are toxic. But let's talk about something that is a little bit more subtle. The time and the place where we have to move on. Our friends are toxic, but maybe they're just being lame, right? Now, all last week, we had gotten to the discussion of dealing with the herd. And when we're young, our identity means very much to us. In fact, it's one of those things that being young, we look for it. We have to find it. That finding our identity in a place to fit in is something that all young people struggle with. And it starts usually about junior high is when it starts to get weird. Think about growing, when you're in elementary school, K through, let's say, about 5th grade, 5th, 6th grade. That is the line where everything changes. Because up until that point, you're just friends with the kids in school, your classmates. You are friends with the kids in the neighborhood. And And it's those kids in the neighborhood that you bond with, you have sleepovers with, you go build cabins in the woods with, you ride your bikes with, you get in a lot of trouble with, and it's not a big deal. No one thinks about things like class, ethnicity, creeds, gender. Like a lot of those things don't even come into play or a role in young children's lives at that point. It's not till that move into fifth and sixth grade where that line is, where kids, you could say they turn online, where there is a self-awareness begins to brew and starts to build. And it is in that place where we start forging out deeper relationships with our friends that are based more so on just playing and being friendly in the kids in the neighborhood and being excited about things. We are now bonding on the beginning of bonding on fears and inadequacies, insecurities. All of us are dealing with the beginnings of puberty. Hormones are kicking off. Our brains have so much messed up chemistry going on that everything becomes incredibly difficult. And of course, some children at that age start to take off physically growing at that point. And everyone's trying to find their footing of who they are, who their friends are, what's going on. And we bond those friendships, and those sort of friendships take on a much deeper meaning than anything that we've had beforehand, because we're now bonding out of fear. We're now bonding because it is in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it becomes a safety mechanism. And when it becomes a safety mechanism, there are certainly more forces that are coming to play to hold us together than before. And it is those sorts of relationships that we continue to forge as we move forward. And as we get older, we get into high school, it's more the same, but they come a little bit more sophisticated. And then college, and then our professional lives, we forge some relationships that are early in our 20s that are still sort of built around the same concepts. But it is that age where we begin to start making choices in our own lives. And this is the first time where it is our choices that now begin separating us from everybody else. It is now our choices that begin separating us from the original group of friends that we had in our 20s. Now think about where you are in your 20s. You've only begun forging an identity for yourself by the choices that you are making towards your goals. You've started to choose career paths. You started to choose behavioral mechanisms that allow you to get closer to your goals. You begin making choices, lifestyle choices. And this is, for some of us, the first time that our own choices start to take us away from the friends that we had. And so our first question is, why don't my friends want to go out and have coffee? Why don't my friends want to jump on a Zoom and chat and hang out? Why are my friends not into working out or choosing this lifestyle over the lifestyle that they had? For some cases, maybe they're just not ready to make that change. In other cases, maybe they're making their own choices towards their own goals. But this becomes the very first divergence because of willful choice. And this is what makes leaving these friends behind more difficult than, say, others in our lives. And because we don't see them as, they're not toxic, they haven't been malicious in my life, they haven't caused drama in my life, so why are we still not friends? Why are we not making these choices together? Well, this begins that divergence on careers and lifestyle choices that we're not always going to agree with the people around us on. And for a lot of people begins the, my friends are lame. They don't seem to be interested in the things that I'm interested in. Now, you can say that your friends are lame. You have reason to believe that. Perhaps their level of commitment isn't to what yours is, even though you're making choices that are different or diverge from their choices. You are willing to make the commitment to keep that relationship intact, and maybe they're not. Well, you have to also understand that by those divergent lifestyles, you are also separating yourself from some of the commonalities that you had held together for so long. And it's those commonalities, when we don't have those anymore, there's not much to share it. And here's another one. For a lot of us, you have gotten older, you've matured, and you're not basing relationships off of hate and negativity. You're now making choices to be positive, to rise above drama, to look for the good in things, to keep a positive mental attitude. And not everybody is willing to do that. Those types of cognitive efforts take practice, they take diligence, and they take consistency in order to change certain mindsets that are going to get you closer to your goal. And the choices that you make to get towards those goals help start to build the lifestyle that you want. And for anyone who has built anything, it takes time and effort and energy to build, whereas to destroy those habits, to destroy that lifestyle, doesn't take much at all. It takes one toxic friend, it takes one person's maliciousness or drama to cause a lot of what you've built to come crumbling down. And so the people who you have in your life start to become extremely important. The choices that you make of who is going to be entered, the choices that you make of who you will open the doors to, now become critical because of all the time and effort that you've put into this life. So before you start looking at your friends who are not willing to commit to the relationship in such a way, understand that before you call them lame, understand that they are making choices that they think are right for them. And there is nothing that you are able to do about that. All you can do is lead positively, lead happily, and make choices that are right for you, and hope that they can see your efforts, see your happiness, and want to come along and want to join on that. But we all have those different choices to make, and that's what puts us in a position to diverge from old friends. It's not that they're lame, it's that they're choosing different paths. Now, I will tell you about what is lame with old people and what you can say is lame. This is a concept that I call being corrupted. And this is not that they are moving into maliciousness. This is that they have been taken over. Taken over by what? Well, they have been taken over and enslaved by their own lifestyle choices, to where they have chose to commit to that enslavement more than they've decided to commit to what's right for themselves and the relationships that they're involved in. What does that look like? What does having friends who are corrupted or enslaved look like? That's a very easy one, because we fight with it on a daily basis. We have to all fight with the addiction of these devices that we use to work from, to entertain us from. Notice that everything is coming from the same devices. Your livelihood, your entertainment, your social outreach, it's all coming from the same devices. Do you know, at night, I now have to put my phone in another room because I will be compelled to pick it up and look at it to see if I got any messages, to see what emails have come through, to see who wrote me on fucking Twitter. That is an addiction, my friends. By putting that phone in the kitchen, well, my kitchen area, I live in a studio, I am choosing to break the chains, so to speak, from that phone for the evening. And if your friends would rather sit and watch Netflix all evening than commit to a cup of coffee with you, if your friends would rather play Fortnite, I don't know, is that what the kids are doing now? My friend had posted that his teenage boy acted like a crack addict when he took his screen away from him at night because him and his other teenage friends were having a all-night Fortnite party. Yeah, well, I had to tell him that the reason his son looked like a crack addict was because his son is an addict. Do you know that they have put the best people on, the most intelligent and knowledgeable people of addiction, psychology, and human behavior behind building these platforms and technologies in order to keep your attention for the longest possible time, and they have nailed it. These people won't even let their own children near these devices, but yet they'll let everyone else near them. So, yeah, your friends who have decided to take different paths through life, they've made lifestyle choices that they feel is better for them, and that doesn't make them lame. But your friends who have been corrupted, who have been enslaved, well, those relationships, the corrupted relationships, the enslaved relationships, those people are lame because they've chose that technology and that addiction over what's good for them, over their lifestyle, over going to the gym, over eating right, over reading. They're consuming junk food media that is fulfilling a hunger need, but it's not sustaining. The only thing that sustains it is more junk food because it's not incredibly fulfilling. It's not fulfilling at all. It's junk food. Do you know when you're reading and you're writing, you're opening pathways that otherwise are not being opened up through other forms of entertainment, such as when you're being spoon-fed crappy movies, bad plot lines. The pathways in your mind that open up to allow you to create, to imagine, to put together story arcs for you to guess what's coming, and to watch and to see characters develop. These things, these processes in your mind are shut down because you're being spoon-fed entertainment that was written for a 4th grade level. So there's no activating, and if you're corrupted and enslaved by this junk food entertainment, you have capped your learning ability. And do you know that though our minds become fully formed and hardwired at roughly 26, 27 years old, you are still able to learn, and you're capping yourself. And that learning, through learning a new skill, a new language, reading, writing, playing musical instruments, These are the things that keep you young. They keep your mind connecting. They keep neurons firing and new pathways being built. When you're being fed shit plot lines, when you're being fed imagery and sights and sounds, and you don't have to use your brain to put anything together, it's inactive. You're just passive. You're just ceaselessly consuming empty calories that are not doing anything for you. So it is that point where if your friends are choosing that over the relationship, well, that is the difference between friends who are diverging because they're choosing lifestyle choices that feel are best for them, comparatively to friends who are choosing because they've been corrupted and they've been enslaved and they have chosen that over their relationships. Now, we get to the final point of the question. What do you do? What do you do with, well, let's talk about both friends. Your friends who have decided to choose different lifestyle choices than you because they need to apply themselves to their goals. Well, those people should have the ability to understand that the relationships that they have developed are important to themselves, and they will take time for it from their busy schedule to make those connections, to hop on a phone call, to grab some coffee with you. Now, your friends who have been corrupted, your friends who have been enslaved, if you have done the work that you need to let them know that you wanted to connect, that you were worried about them, that you were hoping that they would commit some effort towards your relationship. And perhaps you might even say something like all good friends would say to somebody that they see ruining their lives or making poor choices. You try to wake them up. You try to say something to them. But at the end of the day, that's all you could do because you're not changing anybody. They have to change themselves. And at some point, you're going to have to cut them loose and make room for new friends who are making healthier choices in their life, because by you continuing to hang on and hope for them to snap out of it, you are not helping your cause. And now you are holding yourself back by chaining yourself to dead relationships. I'm going to say it again. Until you cut them loose, you will find it difficult to make headway towards your goals because you have changed yourself to dead relationships. They've made their choices. You hope that one day they'll snap out of it and they will give you a call, and like all addicts, they'll let you know that they're sorry and they want to rekindle the relationship. But after that door that you hold for them can always stay open, but the chains that have tied you to them have to be cut. You also have to be able to make room to bring in new people who are making better choices for themselves, because your new relationships are going to help influence and encourage and support you on endeavors that you are going to need in order to reach the life worth fighting for, the life that you've envisioned for yourself. If you've done it properly, you are going to have to take risks in your life. And if you're going to have to take risks in your life, you are going to need support and encouragement from those people around you in order to make those risks fruitful, in order to commit wholeheartedly to those risks that you're taking, because the life that you want for yourself is so important to you. And dead relationships, corrupted, compromised, addicted friends are not going to be there to offer the support and encouragement that you need in order to reach those goals. And with that, my friends, is what I have to say about lame friends, the corrupted, the addicted. They've made their choices. We don't need to see people sitting on a couch shaking from the last hit of crack, or going into detox fits from not having a drink, to see addicted people. I fight with it every night when I put my phone down and have to think about, should I go to the kitchen? Did I hear a text go off? Screw all that. We all are fighting the addiction to our technology. But a lot of us are willing to make choices for a healthy life. And if we're willing to make hard choices for a healthy life of eating right, going to the gym, exercise, then we're willing to put our phones in the next room. We're willing to wake up and have a morning routine that doesn't begin checking our messages. It doesn't, a lifestyle that is not us fighting to go to sleep at night because what if Instagram had went off and somebody liked some pictures? So screw all that. Right, Animal? Right. All right. And that's why Animal's here. He's had it with the Muppets. He wanted a new show to be on, and he knew what was cool. All right. So now let's go through the messages, see what you guys have to say. Thank you all for listening to me today. I hope you will have a wonderful evening. If you want to join me, I don't have another group to go to today. So if you have a comment, you have a question, request, I'll pull you on. Let's chat. But you got to be cool. You got to be awesome. All right. Johnny Dog, thank you for the message. Hey, Tommaso, thumbs up to you too, buddy. This is gold. Well, thank you very much, my friend. I will see you on Twitter today, as always. Rogers Entertainment, how's it going? Well, I got coffee. I got Animal. We're live. It's a bad hair day, but other than that, we're good. And as I started this show, bad hair days are just where it's going to be from now on. I will not, I won't cut it myself. I haven't gotten to that point yet. Let's hope so. Fulfilling a hunger need, but not sustaining. This is great stuff. Well, thank you, Tommaso. It's Italian. Thomas. Estefan, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well. And oh, it's my friend Lisa Marie. How you doing? I hope you're doing quite well. Thank you for joining. And as always, guys, I'm still on the mission of hitting up a lot of my friends. I'm still on a mission to be reaching out to some people. I'm trying to reach out to old friends, family, and new friends and create some opportunities at least once a day. So I hope you join me on that mission. It's been a lot of fun. I have met a lot of great people. And also with that, if you want to strengthen your ability to make deeper connections, learn emotional bids, and use them to build compelling and amazing conversations, what you want is the Art of Charm Communication Accelerator. It has all the best bits from our classrooms and interviews over the last 15 years, and you can find the link for that in the link tree. It has the little rocket ship and flame, and it says, get accelerated. That is the Art of Charm's Communication Accelerator. Have some fun. Do some learning while you're sitting here in quarantine. And ladies and gentlemen, oh, I got another message here. Let's see. and then we'll head out. This is very insightful, very appreciated. I would say that one of my friends of 9 years is different now. He has become addicted to his girlfriend. Yes, that happens as well, my friend. Spends all his time with her. I feel that if he wants to hang, he only schedules 30 minutes once a month and leaves to go with her. I feel that I'm on the back burner. Well, with that is something a little bit different because he is making, once again, you could say that he is addicted, but he's making choices to be what somebody loves. And that's slightly different than choosing addiction of your phone and other addictive things for the sake of that. All right. Guys, with that, I am out of here. Thank you very much for joining me. You can always throw your questions in Instagram or hit me on Twitter. I always answer them, and I will see you guys right here tomorrow at 8:30. See ya.